Why are you so afraid of her being unhappy? Go ahead, answer that. Why does the slightest shift in her mood, the subtle sigh, the quiet disapproval, send a shock-wave of panic through your entire nervous system, forcing you to scramble, to placate, to do whatever it takes to restore a fragile temporary peace? You've been sold a lie, a comfortable, convenient, and utterly destructive lie. It's been whispered at family barbecues, printed on coffee mugs, and championed by weak men for generations as a folksy piece of wisdom. Happy wife, happy life. Let me tear that fantasy down for you right now, because the foundation of your life is built on a lie, and it's crumbling beneath your feet. A woman does not respect a man she can emotionally puppeteer. She cannot give her body, her soul, and her deepest admiration to a man whose spine is made of jelly, a man who outsources his own happiness and direction to her fleeting emotional states. That phrase isn't a recipe for a happy life. It's a manual for creating a passionless roommate, a resentful servant, and a woman who secretly despises your weakness while telling her friends what a great guy you are. In this video, I'm not going to teach you how to better manage her moods. I am going to teach you what it means to be the unshakable, emotional bedrock of a relationship, the man whose own sense of purpose and peace is so profound that her happiness becomes a wonderful addition to his life, not the sole objective of it. I'm going to show you why the pursuit of her happiness is the very thing that is making you both miserable. Let's define this poisonous concept for what it really is. Happy wife, happy life is a philosophy of appeasement. It's the belief that a man's primary role in a relationship is to act as an emotional regulator for his partner. It frames the woman as the emotional center of the universe, and the man as a satellite, whose only job is to orbit her perfectly, adjusting his trajectory at a moment's notice to avoid casting any shadows. It's a strategy born from fear. Fear of conflict, fear of her disapproval, fear of being alone. It's the ultimate abdication of masculine leadership. True happiness in a relationship isn't one person shrinking to make the other feel large. It's a partnership between two complete, sovereign individuals, each responsible for their own fulfillment, who choose to walk the same path together because their journeys are aligned. Your job is not to make her happy. Your job is to be a man worthy of respect, a man who is so grounded in his own mission and values that his presence alone creates an environment where happiness can flourish for both of you. I learned this lesson the hard way, not in a relationship, but in a boardroom. Years ago, I was trying to close a major acquisition. My primary partner on the deal was a brilliant guy, but he was terrified of the sellers. Every time they pushed back, every time they expressed dissatisfaction, he would immediately want to concede. He'd say, "David, let's just give them this clause. It'll make them happy and we can close the deal." He was operating on the business equivalent of happy seller, happy deal. I watched him sweating, ready to give away millions in future value just to avoid the discomfort of the negotiation. I finally pulled him aside and said, "Stop trying to make them happy. Our job is to get a deal that is good for us. Our strength, our refusal to buckle, is what makes them respect us. They won't sign a deal with a man they can walk all over." I took the lead. I held the line on our key points. I endured the uncomfortable silences. I was willing to let the deal die. The tension was immense. My partner thought I was insane. But 2 days later, they called. They agreed to our terms. They respected our strength. That moment was a revelation. A woman, just like that seller, doesn't want a man who will give her everything she asks for. She wants a man who will hold the line for what is best for the unit, for the family, for the future. She wants a man whose strength she can trust, especially when she herself is feeling emotional or uncertain. That unwavering calm, that detachment from the immediate emotional outcome, that is power. And women are drawn to that power like a moth to a flame. The single greatest mistake you are making is believing that her happiness is your responsibility. Think about the sheer arrogance of that position. Do you truly believe you have the power to control the emotional state of another fully formed adult human being? Her happiness is a complex cocktail of her biology, her past experiences, her own thoughts, her own purpose, and 1,000 other variables you have absolutely no control over. When you make it your mission to make her happy, you are setting yourself an impossible task. You are signing up for a lifetime of failure, and with every failure, a little piece of your self-respect chips away. You become an anxious manager of her moods, constantly scanning her for signs of displeasure, tiptoeing around potential triggers. This isn't the behavior of a lover or a partner. It is the behavior of a servant. Or worse, the behavior of a parent trying to placate a difficult child. Let's dissect the logic here, because your current strategy is failing on every conceivable level. Psychologically, it completely destroys sexual polarity. Polarity is the energetic dance between the masculine and the feminine. It's the spark, the tension, the very essence of attraction. Masculine energy is about direction, purpose, decisiveness, and presence. Feminine energy is flowing, emotional, nurturing, and receptive. When you abdicate your masculine role of leadership and become an emotional caretaker, you step into a more feminine, reactive role. You force her into the masculine role of being the one who has to decide, who has to lead, who has to be the rock. A woman cannot simultaneously feel the need to mother you and the desire to surrender to you sexually. She might love you, but the fire is gone. She feels safe, but not excited. You've become her brother, her roommate, her son, but not her man. Evolutionarily, this is a death sentence for attraction. For hundreds of thousands of years, a woman's survival and the survival of her offspring depended on her ability to select a mate with superior genes and the ability to protect and provide. What signals that? Strength. Not just physical strength, but emotional strength. The ability to remain calm in a crisis. The ability to have a vision for the future and execute on it despite obstacles. A man whose entire framework collapses because his woman is in a bad mood is a man who signals he cannot handle pressure. He communicates that his internal state is fragile and dependent on external validation. In the primal subconscious part of her brain, a red flag goes up. This man is not a leader. This man is not a protector. This man cannot be trusted when real danger arrives. Now, let's paint a picture of the man who lives by this lie. You probably know him. You might even be him. He's the guy who wants to go for a steak dinner, but she feels like sushi, so they get sushi. He wants to watch the action movie, but she wants the romantic comedy, so he spends 2 hours watching a story he doesn't care about. His friends call him to go out for a drink, and his first response is, "Let me check with the boss." He calls his wife the boss as a joke, but it's not a joke. It's the literal truth of his existence. He has given up his hobbies because she didn't like them. He has distanced himself from friends she found annoying. His entire life has been curated to minimize her potential for displeasure. He thinks this makes him a good husband, a noble man sacrificing for his family. And what is his reward? A sexless marriage, a constant, low-grade feeling of resentment that he buries under a mountain of chores and responsibilities. A woman who, while comfortable, feels a profound lack of excitement in her life. She might not even know why she's not attracted to him anymore. She just knows that something is missing. That spark, that edge, that feeling of being with a man who has his own world, his own gravity, has vanished. He traded his crown for her comfort, and in doing so, lost the kingdom. So what is the alternative? If happy wife, happy life is the path to ruin, what is the path to power? The solution is not to become a tyrant. The opposite of an appeaser is not an asshole. The opposite of happy wife, happy life is not miserable wife, happy life. The solution is a fundamental shift in your identity. Stop trying to be the man who makes her happy. Become the man whose life is so compelling, so purpose-driven, so full of his own masculine energy that she is genuinely happy to be a part of it. You stop being the court jester trying to elicit a smile from the queen. You become the king, building an empire, and she is the queen who proudly rules beside you. This new identity This path to becoming a man of genuine attractive power rests on 3 unshakable pillars. Number 1, your mission. Number 2, your leadership. Number 3, your integrity. These are not tips or tricks. These are the foundational blocks upon which you will rebuild yourself as the man you were always meant to be, and the man she deeply craves. The first and most important pillar is your mission. This is the absolute non-negotiable bedrock of your existence as a man. Your mission is your purpose, your calling, your primary focus in life outside of your relationship. It could be building your business, mastering a craft, advancing your career, creating art, or pursuing a deep-seated passion. It is the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning with a fire in your belly. It is the source of your growth, your confidence, and your value to the world. A woman cannot be your mission. Your relationship cannot be your mission. If you make a woman the center of your universe, you have created a universe with a weak and unstable center. It will inevitably collapse. Why? Because your mission is what generates the very masculine energy that she finds attractive. When you are locked in, focused, and overcoming challenges in the pursuit of your goals, you are at your most powerful. You are creating value, solving problems, and building something. This is the ultimate expression of masculine energy. It makes you interesting. It means you have a life and an identity that is separate from her, which paradoxically makes her want to be closer to you. A man without a mission is a ship without a rudder, drifting aimlessly in the sea of life. He becomes needy, boring, and overly dependent on the relationship for his sense of self-worth. He looks to her to be his source of happiness, which is a crushing burden for any woman to bear. I remember a period early in my career where I was on the verge of a major breakthrough with my first significant company. It required me to work 18-hour days for about 3 months straight. My partner at the time was understandably not thrilled. She complained I was never around. She wanted to go on weekend trips to dinners, to parties. She accused me of choosing my work over her. And in that moment, I had a choice. I could have followed the happy wife, happy life playbook. I could have eased up, put the business on the back burner, and focused on making her happy. But I knew, deep in my gut, that this mission was bigger than a few missed dinners. It was the foundation of the future I wanted to build. I sat her down and said, calmly but firmly, "I love you. You are incredibly important to me. But for the next 3 months, this company is my absolute priority. It's not a reflection of my feelings for you. It's a reflection of my commitment to the future I want to provide for us. I need your support, but whether I have it or not, this is what I have to do." It was one of the hardest conversations I've ever had. There was tension. There was anger. But I held my ground. I didn't apologize for my ambition. 3 months later, we closed the deal that set me up for life. The success didn't just bring money. It brought a new level of respect into our relationship. She saw that I was a man of my word, a man who could endure hardship for a long-term vision. The very thing that caused short-term unhappiness was the thing that solidified her long-term respect. Your practical application is this. If you do not have a mission, your new mission is to find one. Turn off the television. Stop endlessly scrolling. Sit down with a pen and paper and ask yourself, what problem do I want to solve? What skill do I want to master? What would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? Once you have an answer, even a small one, you must dedicate time to it every single day. The first hour of your day belongs to your mission. Before you check your email, before you talk to your wife, before you engage with the world's demands, you work on your purpose. You build your kingdom one brick at a time. The second pillar is your leadership. You must be the captain of the ship. This does not mean you are a dictator who barks orders. A foolish captain ignores his crew and the weather. A wise captain listens to his first mate. He values her input. He considers her feelings and perspective. But when a decision must be made, when the ship must choose a direction, the final call rests with him, and he accepts the responsibility for that call, good or bad. In modern relationships, men have been conditioned to abdicate this role. They are terrified of making the wrong decision and being blamed for it, so they engage in endless, draining negotiations over trivial matters. "What do you want to do for dinner?" "I don't know. What do you want to do?" This isn't collaboration. It's a mutual abdication of responsibility. A woman does not want to be the CEO of the relationship. She has enough on her plate. She wants to know that there is a steady hand on the tiller. She wants the freedom to relax into her feminine energy, knowing that the man she is with has a plan. When you lead, you are taking the mental load off of her. It is a gift. It creates a sense of safety and trust that allows her to feel cared for and, as a result, more open and attracted to you. Several years ago, my wife and I were faced with a major decision: stay in the city where we had built our lives or move across the country for a new venture that I saw as a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. She was terrified. Our friends were there, our family was there, our comfort zone was there. We had long discussions. I listened to every single one of her fears. I validated them. I told her I understood why she felt that way. I didn't dismiss her emotions. But after listening, I made a decision. I presented her with a clear, confident plan. I said, "I have heard all of your concerns, and they are valid. But I believe this is the right move for our family's future. Here's how we're going to do it. I will handle the logistics of the move. I've already researched schools for the kids. I found a neighborhood I think you'll love. We will fly out next month to look at houses. I am leading us on this path because I am certain it leads to a better place." I did not ask for her permission. I enrolled her in a vision. She could see that I had thought it through, that I wasn't being reckless. She saw a confident leader, not a hopeful applicant. She put her trust in me, and that move turned out to be the best decision we ever made. Our lives and our relationship flourished because I was willing to lead. Your application starts tonight. For the next week, you will make the decisions. Stop asking open-ended questions. Instead of, "What should we do this weekend?" say, "I'm taking you to that new restaurant on Saturday night. Be ready at 8. Instead of, "What do you want to watch?" say, "We're watching this movie tonight. I've heard it's incredible." Lead the way. Do it with a confident, positive energy. She may be surprised at first. She may even test you. But she will also feel a sense of relief. You are taking charge, and that is one of the most attractive things a man can do. The third and final pillar is your integrity. This is your personal code of conduct, your set of non-negotiable values and boundaries. Your word is your bond, both to her and to yourself. A man with integrity is predictable in his principles, but not in his actions. She knows what you stand for. She knows what you will and will not tolerate. This consistency is the foundation of trust. Without trust, you have nothing. Living by the happy wife, happy life creed is the fastest way to destroy your integrity. It teaches you to bend your own rules, to say yes when you mean no, to sacrifice your boundaries on the altar of her temporary happiness. Every time you do this, you signal to her that your entire operating system is negotiable. And if your principles are negotiable, you are not a safe harbor for her in a storm. You are just another drifting log. She will test your boundaries. All women do. It's not a malicious act. It's a subconscious stress test. She's poking at your fences to see if they are solid. She needs to know, is this man for real? Is his frame strong enough to handle me, my emotions, and the chaos of the world? If you collapse at the first sign of pressure, you fail the test. If you hold your ground calmly and lovingly, you pass with flying colours, and her respect for you deepens exponentially. I had a partner once who had a habit of making passive-aggressive comments, especially in front of friends. Little digs, veiled insults disguised as jokes. For a while, I let it slide. I didn't want to cause a scene. I was trying to keep the peace. But it was eating away at my respect for her and for myself. One day, after she made a particularly cutting remark at a dinner party, I waited until we were in the car on the way home. I didn't yell. I didn't get emotional. I pulled the car over, turned to her, and said with complete calm, "I need to be very clear about something. I will not be spoken to like that, especially not in front of other people. I love and respect you, and I expect the same in return. If it happens again, we will leave immediately. This is not negotiable." She was stunned into silence. A week later, we were out with another couple, and she started to make a similar kind of joke. She caught my eye, saw my unwavering expression, and stopped herself mid-sentence. She never did it again. That short-term, incredibly uncomfortable moment of conflict brought me a long-term future of respect. I didn't threaten or punish her. I simply stated my boundary and the consequence. I taught her how to treat me. Your application is to do the same. Identify one important boundary in your life that you have been allowing to be crossed. It could be about how you're spoken to, your need for personal time, financial matters, anything. The very next time that boundary is violated, you will address it. Not with anger, but with calm, unshakable firmness. I feel disrespected when you do X. In the future, I need you to do Y. This is important to me. And then you must be prepared to enforce the consequence. This is how you build a spine of steel. This is how you earn genuine, lasting respect. I want you to take a moment and genuinely visualize two futures. In the first future, you continue on your current path. You double down on happy wife, happy life. Fast forward 10 years, you're 40, 50, maybe 60 years old. You live in the house she wanted, in the neighborhood she chose. You drive the sensible minivan she picked out. Your weekends are a predictable cycle of errands, her family obligations, and watching whatever she wants to watch on TV. You gave up on that business idea because she said it was too risky. Your old friends, the ones she didn't like, have faded from your life. On the surface, things are peaceful. You don't fight much anymore, mostly because you've learned to agree with everything. But you look in the mirror and a stranger looks back. A hollowed-out, domesticated man. There's a quiet desperation in his eyes. Your intimacy is a scheduled, passionless routine. She tells people you're a wonderful provider and a great dad. But you see the way her eyes light up when she talks to the charismatic, confident man at the party. The man you could have been. You have achieved peace, but it is the cold, silent peace of a surrender. You haven't built a life. You've curated a cage. Now, imagine a different path. You decide today to throw that destructive lie in the trash. You find your mission and you attack it with a relentless focus. You start leading your family with a clear, confident vision. You establish and hold your boundaries with loving strength. The road is not easy. There are arguments. There are moments of friction where the old dynamic fights against the new one. But you persevere. You don't lose yourself. Now, fast forward 10 years on this path. You wake up each morning with a surge of energy because you are building an empire, your empire. The woman next to you doesn't just love you, she admires you. She looks at you with a primal respect because you are the architect of this incredible life you both share. She brags to her friends about your ambition, your strength, your integrity. Your intimacy is passionate and adventurous, a celebration of the masculine and feminine polarity you have cultivated. Your children see a father who is strong, principled, and alive. You are not at peace because you avoided conflict. You are at peace because you met every challenge head-on and built a life of your own design. You are not a good husband. You are a great man who is also a husband. The choice between those two futures is made right now. So let's be clear. Forget happy wife, happy life. That is the mantra of a boy who is afraid of his mummy's disapproval. A man's mantra is this: strong mission, strong man, strong life. Stop acting like a frantic gardener, constantly fussing over a single rose, asking it if it has enough water, enough sun, if its petals are happy. It's pathetic. Instead, become the sun. Be so full of your own light, your own heat, your own gravitational force, that life naturally and beautifully blossoms in your orbit. Your mission is your fire. Your integrity is your core. Your leadership is the path your light travels. Everything else, including a deeply respectful and passionate relationship, is a natural consequence of you being that powerful force. This is not the easy path. The path of least resistance, the path of the appeaser, will always look more comfortable from the outside. It leads directly to a beige, mediocre existence. The path I am showing you requires courage. It requires you to risk her temporary unhappiness to earn her permanent respect. It requires you to become a man your son would want to be and your daughter would want to marry. This is your life. It is the only one you will ever get. Do not waste another second of it being a supporting actor in your own story. I have given you the map, but you, and only you, can take the first step. I want a commitment from you, not to me, but to yourself. A public declaration that the old you is finished. Go down to the comments right now and write, in all caps, "I am the captain." No questions, no long stories, no excuses. Just that statement. A declaration of your intent to take back the wheel of your own life. It's your first act of leadership. If you are serious about this journey, if you are truly ready to stop being a passenger and start being the driver, then subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications. Consider this your new training ground for the man you are about to become.